something like what you can see it on that clay bat. Yeah. Mr. Newman comes from Slade, Missouri, got this tractor in '09, restored it during the winter. It's got a hand and a foot throttle, dual brake pedals, and a locking differential. And I would imagine it's made in Sweden, yeah. Volvo Motor Company was in Sweden in the world, and that's where this tractor came from. Nice, beautiful piece. Nice restored. Thank you, sir, for bringing us something unusual.
One of the only ones that's ever been here.
That's the only one I'm aware of.
John Deere. M47 model. Larry and Sharon Farley. Owners. They're from Centertown, Missouri. This is our first show. Well, we hope that you've had a good impression so far. It is awful nice to be able to show your nice items in front of hundreds of people and mainly talk to them. They'll tell you a lot of stories. Nice, very nice. And you picked the right one to start with.
Mile an hour prejudice for John Deere. Ford tractor coming up now. This is a very, very popular model, very popular style. It's a 640, 1955 model. Larry and Sharon Farley of Centertown own this tractor, and Billy Boulder of Centertown driving it. We're on there. Zach? Hi, Zach. You enjoying it? Having a good time? This is your first tractor show up then too, isn't it? Well, come back.
Here is a custom Gravely. We had a neighbor that had a Gravely riding lawnmower years ago, but this precedes that. 1963, it has a front sickle bar mower. This is Mr. David Steffen from Columbia, Missouri. Bought his parts tractor in fall of '09, decided it was better than the tractor I was rebuilding. I've been there, and I've done that. But here is something, Key, that is really coming to the forefront. These little walk behind and riders, which he's got a neat little cart there to ride, and his Gravely, looky here, Richard, a Gravely wagon too. If you think them things, I'm still looking for a pedal wagon for my John Deere pedal tractor. They're hard to find. But anyway, very nice restored. This is the new collector right here. Thank you for bringing it.
All right, we got a nice little home-built tractor now. We always like to see these. This one was made in Columbia and then sold to somebody in Jeff City. Leonard Rutledge from Jeff City's got it. It's got a 2-cylinder Wisconsin, a Chevrolet starter, Alice counter gearbox, Pontiac transmission, a rear end, a Sears 3-point hitch, and a 12-inch Sears plow. This tractor follows that old Johnny Cash song, just got her piece at a time.
Farmhouse B, Lloyd Percy from Centralia, Missouri. 1941, pretty early one right here in original clothes, but you know what, we got to have the original one so we can see how to fix the ones that we want to fix up. But it's one, and it has got, of course, the wide front end, and it is a B. And it looks like it might have a belly mower that he uses to mow his yard with.
Got another little John Deere B-Miles. This is a late one. This is probably a 1950. It's Ken Mathis in California, Missouri. And he's got a nice little 2-bottom John Deere plow with it. It looks like about 4-acre Jesse. It looks like the plow's for sale. How about the tractor? Not the tractor, just the plow. Now here we have a 1957 John Deere 520. It's owned by the Eckert family in Jamesport, Missouri. It was Mark Eckert's tractor. Mark lived in Jamesport, or in Chillicothe, and he was very active for many, many, many years with our show. He was the one that owned the old 60 cat and always showed it here. His grandson, Bill Wade Reed, is on the tractor today. It was the last tractor that Bill purchased. Bill was a long-time member of this show, and he was a very active John Deere collector. Long-time friend of mine, too. Good to see you all here. I knew Mark a long, long time. Met him many years ago when he helped an old gentleman that had a steam engine here. Hey, a little international caller. That's our Renfro's old tractor. I'll tell you what, Miles, or Red, there's only one thing wrong with that tractor, Red. You've oiled it. Herb oiled that, and it squeaked so loud you couldn't hear anything, but he went through the brake. 220 original tractor, one of the early crawlers, Earl Renfro, long-time member of our show, showed this here until he died. So, good to have it back. Thank you, Red.
Let me tell you a little story about this. Earl Renfro always had the WD-9, and I think his cousin or nephew has the old WD-9 yet. But Earl come to a show, and Larry Maservi had his tractor at the 93 show, and Mr. Renfro come to me and said, "Oh, by golly, I know where there's one of them in a fence row." The next year he brought it to the show.
It was always an interesting exhibit because two things he didn't do. He never idled the tractor down, so he always had it running at least half the full throttle, and he always had the track squeak, so you can just bet on that. Hey, a nice little M. This comes from Fulton, Missouri area, Williamsburg, 1947 M, owned by David Bruns, Williamsburg. He got this at a farm sale near Harrisburg, and he restored it, and it's an awful nice looking tractor. Thank you, sir. Got a little Cat 10 coming up now. We had the best. You saw what the precursor to the Cat 60 looked like. Well, this is the smallest Caterpillar tractor ever made. Caterpillar built this. Of course, it was primarily for farm work. It wasn't for road work. This is a Cat 10. It's a mid-1920s piece. It is owned by Dick Groshon and Reese Groshon to drive them through the praise. Another M, nice Super M. This is Mike Eckert at Jamesport, and Austin Eckert at Jamesport is running it. This tractor was purchased brand new by my great-grandfather, and Mike is the second owner. That's a nice piece, Mike. I know that wasn't Bill.
Well, we had an interesting situation there. Mr. Eckert, Bill, and his father, Mark, were very much John Deere. But I will report to you that his grandson has bought the John Deere tractors and have them all in their entirety, so we're glad that they're there. Okay, go right ahead.
All right, we got a little LA. We're going to change color, and we're going to change size. This is a 1944 LA with a nice little mounted plow. James Hamilton, the Columbia, has this, been in the family, the Hamilton family, since 1952. Got the cultivator, the mower, and the planter. That's very unusual. Keep it together. That's a nice family piece. Good to see that, Miles. Pretty little piece. 1941H John Deere. This is the smallest horizontal cylinder John Deere ever made. Nick Brackers of Taos, Missouri owns it. He got it in 2007. Bay City, Michigan. You had to make a pretty good run to get that one. Got nice fenders on it, too.
Okay, here's an interesting local tractor. This is an Alice Chalmers WD-45, a 1953 model, which I believe is the first year for them. And the owner is Herman Gerke, right out. You can drive it home almost, not quite, but almost. And they're farmers here in the Boonville area for ever and ever. Darrell Harris is driving it today, and you probably married into the Gerke family. And this, if you all want your history lesson here, the Frederick, however you want to say it, has one of the oldest Alice Chalmers dealerships in the state of Missouri, downtown Boonville. And this was the first WD-45 sold in the Boonville, Missouri area and bought by Lawrence Gerke, shown by Herman's son-in-law. Still in use today, factory wide front. Don't see that. It's nice to have some history here.
Well, we got a little homemade deal here. What are you going to tell us about this? Melvin Wright, past Missouri. Milford. Built this car from scratch. What kind of motor you got in it? The Tecumseh. Nice looking little piece. That downscale model of a 1901 Oldsmobile. Look at them nice wood wheels on that. Beautiful little piece. Thank you, sir. Like to see those home built pieces. Oh, a Plymouth? Boy, you don't see many Plymouth pickups, Miles. That was a short-lived project. Jack Beamer of Paris, Missouri owns this 1939 model. Boy, that's a pretty piece, and it's pretty rare, too. Beautiful. Well, it sounds pretty good
Have you got a Hemi?
Think Plymouth, what they've been. Got a DeSoto now. Do you remember the DeSotos? Pardon? Because I don't know what year. 46. Jack Beamer. Paris, Missouri owns this four-door DeSoto. You remember the house? Yeah, Kaiser Fraser. DeSoto was another brand that didn't quite make the grade, but they made a beautiful car when they were popular. A lot of cars bit the dust, sort of like tractor companies. We don't have near as many as we had a while ago. Hey, we got an international piece now coming up. This is a 1979 and a half International Scout. International was very good at building these little early four-wheel drive sort of utility vehicles. Glenn Ralphie of New Franklin, Missouri has the original owner, and he restored it in 1993. You took good care of it, sir. Pretty piece.
Hey, race fans, looky here. The young pulling team right here with their favorite tractor. And talking about pulling, we will have, if weather permits, a tractor pull tomorrow morning for the little ones, and also tomorrow afternoon the MATPA tractor pull. It'll be big, don't miss it. Lots of things. The Young family has their 460 Lauren, Devin, they're at the helm here. This is a very popular model. This was quite a transition tractor from the old 400, 450 series look. They come out with a totally new look in 58 and went with the 6-cylinder power. This is a gas model, and the rest of the story is Farmall sold a lot of 460s and 560s, and they were very well thought of. Maybe the torque was another thing, but anyway, most of the time they were very good selling tractors for I-8. Thank you, guys. Now, here is none better. Come on up here. We have so many things on the grounds, and he and I just got two minds, and we can't keep ahead of all of it. But the Screaming Eagles Missouri chapter Case Club have their own building over here where they have a lot of memorabilia and case products on show. You can walk in if it's happened to be showering or something and see a whole lot of good things, get a lot of information for next year's upcoming National Case Show. I said National Case Show, be here next year. Now, this is a Case S. This is a little standard tractor, a 1949. It has the Case Centennial plow, and I assume that would be 1937.